All right, trappers. Madtrapper back at you. Getting ready to start out 23-24 trapping season. Very excited. Got a lot of stuff going to happen this year that didn't last year. First trap line is going to be out west for about 2 months. Coyote, bobcat, gray fox, try to catch a few ringtails, and stay tuned, but hopefully a few mountain lions. Been out there 1st of October till whenever the weather pushes me out. In the meantime, got to get the equipment prepared. What I'm doing today is I power wash everything you see here, back in here. All my water traps and my bobcat traps, the ones back there, I speed dip. What I use for my speed dip is kind of the original speed dip, Andy Stowe's black. He makes it in brown, maybe other colors now. I've always used the black. That's what I stick with. Now the reason that blew up is I already had put gas in it to wash it out, and it got hot because it's 90 degrees out here. But anyway, I get all the stuff out of the bottom. Now speed dipping, I do it on all my water traps. This is the first year I'm doing it on cat traps. Guys that watched me last year, I put on the sandpaper disc on a lot of the triggers. If I boil them, I'm afraid it'd boil them off, so I'm going to go ahead and speed dip them. One thing I do want to show, when I was getting ready to do this little handful of conibears, is I watch a lot of YouTube, see how people do things, get ideas for my own. And I see a lot of people using rusty traps. Now, rusty traps are one, bad for the metal. They won't last as long. Harder to set, and you leave a rust mark on all your catches, which is bad for the fur industry. You'll get a lot of suitcase catches. If you're using rusty traps, they're not as fast, they don't fire as fast, and they don't open up as fast. So you get a lot more suitcase catches or hind flank catches. And we owe it to the animal to put him down as quick as we can. If you listen to this here, and I just got 3, pick them up at random. If you listen, you can hear that rust. And that is rust is all you hear. They're harder to set and they spring a lot slower. That's just the rusty 110. And they got a poof of rust. These I'm re-dipping only because I replaced the triggers. I don't like a shiny trigger. Other than that, they would have been good to use. But you take one of these from last year, set it, you don't hear anything. You don't have that rust drag. They set easier, they fire easier, and they're going to last you a lot longer. With just a few minutes time to prepare them is well worth it. After that, all I do is string them on the wire. Good thing about speed dip, now I mix mine with just gas, regular unleaded. I mean, they don't call it speed dip for nothing. They're done. Let them drip off, put them on something. I like to put them up on something, not on the rock, so they will stick to anything until they get good and dry. Even all my DPs, with the cable still on, it's faster to use them that way. Go in, right back out. We'll let them drip. Try to get the barrels down as best you can, and they're done. 1.5 coils muskrats. This is 15 on this one, the rest are in dozens. Same thing. Let them drip off. They're done. I even do, anybody that watched me setting last year, I even do mage holders. Put them in one way, put them in the other. Got a little hook on the end of my pole. Hook them on out of there. Back them on. Got it brand new. I'm doing this for a neighbor boy. Brand new 330. Same thing. You just plop it in there if you want. Put it in there. Leave it in there a second. Pull her right back out. Let her drip off. She's darkened. Not shiny. Not rusty. Will last a lot longer. Bobcat trap. Like I said, this is the first year I've ever done bobcat trap this way. Same thing. Beaver trap, same thing. Now after we get back from out west, we'll be trapping here in Missouri and Iowa for about a month and a half. Then we'll go down to our line in Mississippi for somewhere around 2 months. Come back from there the end of March, 1st April. And then we're planning a spring beaver line up north somewhere. So we're going to be moving around the country quite a lot this year. But it's 11 o'clock right now, hot out. I want to go ahead and get all these dipped. These over here are coyote traps. They will get dyed and waxed the old-fashioned way. I'll do a separate video on that. But I'm going to dip all these. 11 o'clock. We'll see how long it takes. We'll get right back with you.
All of mine is milk crate. We have a half dozen per crate, and there's 4 more dozen to do. A little bigger pan, maybe in there, stuff in there. Yeah, these are underwater for the most part. Not necessary for any other reason. And they cost about $6 a piece now. As long as I can make them last, I'm gonna make them last.
check. It's 11:22, roughly call it 25 minutes to do this stack of traps. From the time I power washed them, bundled them, wired them to this point and put them up, I'll probably have 3.5 hours in them. That's well worth the time served to have a trap that works better and extending the longevity for many years, doing this every year. If she'll pan down right beside her, these are traps that I dug out from underneath this elderberry shrub that I threw under there when, of course, last fall when I was done trapping. You can see that the chains are a little rusted, the raw wire, but the trap, laying on cement, of course, did not rust at all. If that would have been an untreated trap, laid under there for 6 months, they would have been well rusted. I got to untangle them because they're all a tangled mess, but short of that, that's what it does. But anyway, I'm gonna go out west. If you guys watched my earlier videos, I did the what I call the MT Madtrapper bucket cubby using the foothold. I've been out west several years, never used it out there, mainly because I trapped public areas. I got in on a big chunk of private area this year, so I'm actually going to buy some. I'm going to use the Menard green buckets. I'm going to take a dozen of them out there with me just to try them out and see if they work. If I'm cat trapping out there, the situations are a little different. I'm mainly a flat set user, but we are going to put some of them into operation and see how they do out there. Anyway, fast, simple, little Andy Stowe's gasoline, couple hours, and we're done. We'll get back with you when we do the dye and wax. They got to be boiled in lye. Hard to find sometimes, but you can find it in plumbers' bottles, and if you live somewhere where there's Amish or Mennonites, they actually sell it by the bulk. But I'll boil them in lye for a couple hours, spray them off, let them rust a day or two, put them in a tub of logwood dye, a couple hours, and then we'll wax them. But we'll show that later. Till then, get prepared because season's rolling up on us.